Your closest colleague just got promoted. Watch how they change toward you in the next 48 hours. Most people miss the shift. They hear congratulations, but don't see the subtle distance. The delayed responses to your messages. The way they suddenly question ideas they used to support. The ancient Stoics understood something we've forgotten. Proximity breeds competition. When someone rises, the people closest to them feel the threat most. By the end of this video, you'll see through every workplace mask. You'll spot the psychological games before they damage you. And you'll have the Stoic framework to stay unshakable while everyone else plays politics. The status competition you don't see coming. Here's what happens when your work friend gets ahead of you. 3 things shift immediately. You won't notice any of them consciously. First, they start viewing your relationship as zero-sum. Your success now feels like their loss. Second, they begin collecting evidence that you don't deserve what you have. Third, they unconsciously start testing your reactions to see if you're still controllable. Marcus Aurelius wrote about this exact pattern. How much trouble he avoids, who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does. He understood that status anxiety makes people irrational. When someone perceives you as competition, logic disappears. Here's a real scenario. You and Sarah have worked side by side for 2 years. Great relationship. Then you get promoted to team lead. Within a week, Sarah's behavior changes. She starts questioning your decisions in meetings. She mentions how stressed you look. She offers to help with tasks she never cared about before. That's not friendship. That's status recalibration. The evolutionary psychology is simple. For thousands of years, resources were scarce. When someone in your tribe gained status, it meant less for you. That wiring still exists. Your promotion triggers Sarah's survival instincts, even though there's no real scarcity. Watch for these behavioral shifts. They stop including you in casual conversations. They become overly formal in emails. They start name-dropping other relationships. They question your judgment on small things to test your confidence. The amateur move is explaining yourself or trying to reassure them. That signals weakness. Instead, watch actions and ignore explanations. When Sarah says she's happy for you, but starts undermining your ideas, believe the undermining. When she offers help, but creates more work, believe the pattern. When she compliments you publicly, but criticizes you privately, believe the private behavior. Your closest colleagues feel the most threatened because they had equal access to you before. Now there's hierarchy. Now there's distance. Now they have to recalibrate their entire relationship with you. Here's your move. Judge by patterns, not promises. Document the changes you see. Don't try to fix the relationship by lowering yourself. That only confirms their suspicion that you don't belong in your new position. The Stoics knew that human nature doesn't change. People will compete for status, whether they admit it or not. Your job isn't to manage their emotions. Your job is to see clearly and respond strategically. Notice how this changes everything. The colleague who used to share gossip with you now sees you as someone who might use that information against them. The friend who used to complain about management now sees you as management. The peer who used to joke about the company now worries you'll report their attitude. Status shifts reveal true character. Some people will rise with you. Others will try to pull you down. Most will simply distance themselves until they figure out where you fit in their world. That's not personal. That's human nature. The question is, are you prepared to see it clearly? The 3 masks of manipulation. Seneca understood something about human relationships that most people miss. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. When your status changes, people don't just adjust their behavior, They put on masks. Here are the 3 masks your closest colleagues wear when they feel threatened by your success. Mask 1. The excessive complimenter. This person suddenly starts praising everything you do. But here's the trap. Excessive compliments are a control mechanism. They're testing your ego to see if flattery makes you predictable. Watch for the pattern. They compliment your presentation, then immediately suggest improvements. They praise your leadership, then mention how much pressure you must be under. They celebrate your promotion, then ask if you're sure you're ready for the responsibility. That's not support. That's psychological positioning. They're establishing themselves as your advisor while undermining your confidence. Here's the same pattern in your private life. You start dating someone new. Suddenly, your friend becomes your biggest cheerleader. They love your new partner. They think you're perfect together. Then they start dropping subtle concerns. I just want to make sure they appreciate you. You seem different lately. Are you sure they're not just using you? The excessive complimenter positions themselves as your protector while slowly eroding your judgment. Your move? Thank them for the feedback and change nothing. Don't explain your decisions. Don't defend your choices. Just observe how they react when their input doesn't influence you. Mask 2. The helpful advisor. This colleague suddenly becomes invested in your success. They offer unsolicited advice about everything. How to handle your new team, which projects to prioritize, who to trust in leadership. Here's what's really happening. They're trying to maintain influence over you. If they can't control your position, they'll try to control your decisions. The helpful advisor creates dependency. They want you to need their guidance. They want to be the person you turn to when things get difficult. They want to be indispensable to your success so they can claim credit for it later. Notice the language they use. You should probably. Have you considered? I would be careful about. They're not sharing information. They're positioning themselves as your strategic consultant. The trap is that some of their advice might actually be good. That's how the mask works. They give you valuable insights mixed with subtle manipulation. You start depending on their input. Suddenly, they have influence over your decisions. Your move. Listen to their advice, then make your own decisions. Don't explain your reasoning. Don't justify your choices. Just decide independently and watch how they respond. Mask 3. The supportive ally. This is the most dangerous mask because it feels the most genuine. This person becomes your biggest supporter in public. They defend you in meetings. They back up your ideas. They celebrate your wins. But here's the pattern. Their support disappears when you actually need it. When you face real challenges, they're nowhere to be found. When you need someone to stand up for you, they're suddenly busy. When you need honest feedback, they give you empty encouragement. Epictetus taught, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. The supportive ally does the opposite. They talk about supporting you, but their actions tell a different story. The supportive ally wants the social credit of being associated with your success, but they don't want the risk of actually helping you achieve it. They want people to see them as loyal to you, but they don't want to sacrifice anything for that loyalty. Here's how to test it. Ask for something specific. Ask them to advocate for you in a difficult conversation. Ask them to give you honest feedback about a real problem. Ask them to take a small risk to support your position. Watch what happens. The supportive ally will find reasons why they can't help. They'll offer alternative suggestions that require nothing from them. They'll make you feel guilty for asking. Real allies don't just cheer for you. They show up when it costs them something. Your move? Stop expecting support from people who only offer it when it's convenient. Build relationships with people who demonstrate loyalty through actions, not words. The common thread in all 3 masks is this. They're all attempts to maintain control over your relationship. The excessive complimenter controls through ego manipulation. The helpful advisor controls through dependency. The supportive ally controls through false intimacy. Once you see the masks, you can't unsee them. Every conversation becomes clearer. Every interaction reveals true motivations. Every relationship shows its real foundation. The Stoic Shield. Seeing reality without illusion. You've been trained to ignore red flags since childhood. You were taught that questioning people's motives is cynical. You were told that assuming good intentions is virtuous. You were raised to believe that people mean what they say. The Stoics knew better. They understood that self-deception is the enemy of wisdom. Marcus Aurelius had a morning practice for reading human nature. Every day he reminded himself, "I will meet today inquisitive, ungrateful, violent, treacherous, envious, unsociable people." Not because he was pessimistic, but because he wanted to see clearly. When you expect people to act in their self-interest, you're never surprised by their behavior. When you assume they'll prioritize their needs over yours, you're prepared for reality. When you judge by patterns instead of promises, you make better decisions. Here's your new filter. Separate what people say from what they do. Words are cheap. Actions reveal truth. Patterns predict future behavior. That colleague who says they support your promotion, but questions every decision you make. Believe the questioning. That friend who claims they're happy for your success, but stops including you in social plans. Believe the exclusion. That advisor who offers help but creates more problems. Believe the problems. This isn't cynicism. This is clarity. The discipline of perception means seeing things as they are, not as you wish they were. The mindset shift that makes you unmanipulable is simple. Stop needing people to be different than they are. Accept that most people will act in their own interest most of the time. Plan for that reality instead of hoping for something else. When you spot the masks in real time, here's your emergency protocol. Stay calm, document the pattern, and adjust your behavior accordingly. Don't confront them about the mask. Don't try to fix the relationship. Don't explain what you see. Just protect yourself and move forward with clear eyes. You now see the game everyone else is unconsciously playing. Your closest colleagues aren't your biggest supporters. They're your biggest competition. Subscribe for more ancient wisdom that protects your modern career. And remember, executive by day, Stoic always.